For the final vlog in this Europe and Wisconsin travel series, I'm coming home and debriefing the whole trip, starting out with cleaning the whole cottage and trying to get the boat to start to fill it up with gas, but failing.
The boat wouldn't start, but at least we pulled it up.
The day has finally come. It is Monday, May 27th, after 2 weeks and 1 day of traveling. 2 weeks and 2 days of traveling, I get to go home. I've loved this trip. It has been so fun, but all good things must come to an end, and I'm very ready to be my own bed with my own routine. There's nothing like the feeling of warm sheets. I don't want to make the bed now.
It'll be okay.
Back from 2 weeks of being out of town. I was in Europe and also Wisconsin for a little bit, and I made it back to my apartment this afternoon around 4, and now it's 7:20 in the evening, and I'm finally getting to unpack my suitcase. I put a poll on my Instagram stories. Oh, I need to send a text. Okay, I put a poll on my Instagram stories to ask questions, if you have questions, since I've been vlogging this whole trip and keeping it on Instagram stories and everything. So I thought I'd answer some questions while I unpack and talk a little bit about the trip to sort of recap it for the memories. So like I said, I was gone for 2 weeks and 2 days or so. I left 2 weeks ago on Sunday, and now it's Monday. One of the questions was, how long were you gone? And where did you go? That's a long question. So I started out in Germany. My family has really good family friends that live in Germany that knew my grandparents. I think they met in like 1969, and then their kids were our exchange students. Or no, their kids were my grandparents and dad's exchange students, and then their kids were exchange students who lived with me. And there were 4 of them, and I consider them like my German siblings or my German cousins, just family members. So I was staying with them. I flew into Frankfurt, and then I went to, I'm just going to list off the names of cities. I didn't spend a night in all these places, but I visited Seligenstadt, Vielbrunn, Darmstadt, Kirchzarten, Freiburg, Offenburg, Baden-Baden, Darmstadt, Rossdorf. So 8 different cities in Germany that I visited. It was a lot, but also super cool. I stayed a different place every night, except one place I stayed in for 2 nights, and that was Freiburg. And I didn't have to pay for accommodations at any of those places because I was staying with our family friends. After about a week in Germany, I flew to England, to London, and I spent 1 night in London at an Airbnb. Then I went to Oxford. My best friend from 3rd grade is studying abroad for a year in Oxford. So I spent a few nights with her and explored Oxford, got the experience of being a student there. And then I flew back to Chicago. My parents picked me up from the airport and we drove to Wisconsin, where my family has a cottage, but I've gone up there growing up a ton. And so being there was like a nice way to relax after the whole trip. Next question, least favorite meal. I saw this question a couple hours ago and I was like, I genuinely cannot think what my least favorite meal was this whole trip because everything I ate was so good. I can say my favorite meals are some of them that were up there. We made veggie wraps in Kirchzarten that were really good. That was unexpectedly really good because it wasn't like, not that I expected it to be bad, but it wasn't like a classic German food that you know is going to be good. I did love the Wurst I had in Darmstadt at Schlossgrabenfest. I loved Käsespätzle. That was really good. All the food was really good. If I have to pick a least favorite, I don't even know if I can pick a least favorite meal. I did eat a bagel sandwich in London that was kind of mid, but it wasn't bad. The one thing that sticks out to me is when I was in the airport, I was eating my snacks and I had like this granola clusters with strawberries in them, and I ate a bite and then I was eating another bite and then I saw mold on it, and so then I tried to spit out like the bite that so that was just not a good experience.
The day you were calling, heart stopped stalling.
What was the best, most interesting thing you got to do or see? I think some of my top memories, one, hunting on the Thames in Oxford. That's like a boat, like a rowboat sort of experience, and you have a pole that you're using to push the boat forward. It's a lot harder than it looks, but it was so fun. I just realized my camera's about to die, so I have to switch over to using my phone. But other really fun memories, one was going to this art museum in Baden-Baden, and my German sister Ellie and I had a ton of fun dancing around the museum. That was incredible. And then, did I say the music festival? Schloss Grabenfest in Darmstadt was so cool. It was, my German brothers kind of asked me like, oh, do you like this music? And I was like, well, I wouldn't listen to it if I was alone, but at a festival, this is so fun. And just like, it was pouring down rain, but we were still having a ball. Like, we were going crazy on the dance floor. It was a ton of fun. And yeah, those are some of the highlights. Okay, I'm just gonna try to remember these questions and then start filming on my phone. Some questions about traveling on a budget and if it's easy or like how much money I spent. Of course, the flights were expensive and I didn't have frequent flyer miles, which was annoying. But I did save money by staying with people that I already know because I didn't have to pay for accommodation. That was a really great way to travel on a budget. And I know that's not something that's easy for people to be like, well, I'm just gonna make friends in this new place. Like, you kind of have to have that in advance. And that's something that I'm very blessed by. And it was really wonderful to get to visit all these people, but that's just not practical whenever you travel. So staying in the Airbnb, it was literally just a room in this lady's house, and the lady was super sweet. I didn't talk to her that much because I wasn't there for very long, but that was a cheaper way to stay rather than staying in a full-on hotel. I was paying for all of my meals in London, and a lot of times I would like see the menus and it'd be like fish and chips, $20, and I was like, no. I would go to like a little hole-in-the-wall place to get something cheaper. They have Pret and Mongers all over London, and you can get something for like £6 for lunch, and that was what I was doing for that. I also didn't buy souvenirs. I'll show you what I did buy. This was my snack pack at the beginning of the trip, but it's become more of a souvenir pack. I bought this tote bag in a grocery store in London or in Oxford because you had to pay for grocery bags, and I needed one. And this is like 30 cents cheaper, or 30 cents more expensive than the disposable one. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna pay the extra 30 cents and then get a tote bag that I'm gonna take home and keep using. I also bought these cough drops or sore throat drops called Strepsils. And my friend Brooke just told me that these are actually cough drops that actually work. And she hadn't seen them in the US, so I decided I would get a box. I got Bird and Blend tea. My friend Brooke gave this to me as a gift. Bird and Blend is a super cute coffee shop or tea store in Oxford, and so she got me this. I also bought Yorkshire tea at the grocery store in England, and in Germany I got fennel tea because I love fennel tea, and I can find the best fennel tea in Germany, so I got that. This is kind of crushed, but I got Jaffa cakes. I'm gonna give these to my sister. I also got my parents buttermint tea because that's my mom's favorite tea, and she always has trouble finding it in the US, and some biscuits, cookies, sort of thing from the grocery store in England. I lost my gold hoops when I was in Germany, like the second day literally. So then I bought some new earrings at M&S in Oxford. And then the last thing that I brought back, I think the last thing I did not buy, showed this in one of the earlier vlogs, is this dress from Ellie. They had an event for music students that was a clothing swap. And so the morning, she and all of her roommates are music students. So the morning before the clothing swap, they were all showing like, oh, I'm giving this, I'm giving this, I'm giving this. And Ellie pulled out this dress. And when I visited Ellie 6 years ago, I wore this dress and I loved it so much. And so then when she pulled it out and said she was getting rid of it, I was like, I want to make room in my suitcase to take that back to the States because it is the cutest little dress. And I wore it several times in the rest of my travels because it's so adorable. But as you can see, okay, yes, I did buy a good number of things, but none of them are like souvenirs in the traditional sense. Like I wouldn't count cough drops as a souvenir. I totally forgot about another thing I bought on this trip, and that is a fork, spoon, and knife set because my roommate is moving out and she has a fork, spoon, and knife set that I always use. And so I was like, ugh, she's gonna leave and she's gonna take the fork, spoon, and knife set. And then I found one for like £2 in Oxford. So of course I picked it up. And it actually ended up being really handy when Brooke and I were eating breakfast because she only has one set of utensils. And then I also bought a glue stick from the Muji store because I have been struggling to find glue sticks in the States recently. Another thing people asked about was what was hard about the trip or what was not so fun, what was stressful. In the first vlog, I said that the main thing I was scared about was not having a flight and it being a scam, which it was fine. It was not a scam. I also was a little bit scared that I would get sick when I was there because of the adrenaline letdown of leaving the last weeks of school and then going to a new place. I was scared I would get sick, and I did not get sick. I did experience a big adrenaline letdown going from Germany to London, and especially leaving all of my good family friends in Germany and having such a great night at Schlossgrabenfest and doing so much that week and being tired and then going to a new country where I'm all alone. I understand the language at least, but there's a lot that I don't adjust to right away just because it still is a different culture, and navigating an airport alone always freaks me out. It was a little bit stressful when I first got to London, and that was something I just had to push through and be strong and pray and talk to the Lord and invite him into how I was feeling, because I knew that I just had to get through it because I was literally in London and it was incredible and so cool and there was so much to do and see, and being alone was a little bit freaky, but also it needed to happen. That's all the questions I'm going to answer. I'm just about done unpacking. There's a few more things I have to get sorted out. I go back to work tomorrow, which is crazy. I'm actually feeling really happy to be home because it's been a really long trip and it's just nice to be back and be able to get into routine a little bit. I'm excited for tomorrow that I do have work to get right into. I don't have any weird down days with nothing to do. It was such a cool trip and I feel very blessed that I was able to go. But I also love being in routine, being at home. Oh, wait, I forgot about another souvenir. Okay, now I feel like I came up with so much stuff, but I promise I didn't. This is from Schlossgrabenfest. They gave, I got a mineral water and it came in this lovely little reusable cup. So I was like, I'm gonna take that home if I can. And there was room in my cup holder in my backpack that my umbrella was in. So I've been keeping my umbrella in here in the cup holder. And now I can use it to drink or for watercolor water or whatever. And I'm very excited about it. I also gotta say, I really missed my roommates. Like my other friends, I missed them too. But my roommates, since I normally see them every day, it was really weird not to see them. I'm so excited because I get to see Maya tomorrow and I get to see Madeleine on Wednesday, and I miss them a lot, and so I just can't wait to catch up and hear what's been going on in their lives the past few weeks because I've been MIA. Anyway, I rambled on for far too long, and so I'm gonna end out the vlog here. This wasn't actually a vlog. I guess this was our first chatty video since all of the Europe vlogs, which I hope you've enjoyed them all, but they've come to an end because I will be posting this video after I post all of the other fun vlogs. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. There won't be any more Europe content coming anytime soon. Comment down below what other summer content you want to see this summer, because it won't be travel. I will be at home hanging out, working, spending time with my family and my roommates and everything. Yeah, I will see you in our next video.